Bow in prayer here. Heavenly Father, thank you for the wisdom that will be shared among us during this meeting. We acknowledge that true understanding comes from you, and we are grateful for the insights that emerge through thoughtful discussion and collaboration. Bless each one of us who contributes and help us carry forward the knowledge we have gained. May these discussions guide our next steps with clarity and discernment. Thank you for being the source of all wisdom and for teaching us through one another. Amen. The Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Very good. Thank you, Diane. Got it.
Yes, we do.
Well done, team.
It's a great way to start the year. God bless Texas.
Doesn't look like we have any comments from the public. Okay. And Jeannie, do we need to act on any adjustments?
I have one.
Okay.
It's gonna be complicated.
Okay.
There was a resident that lived at 38 Belcara. That's an old address, but he kept the house. He moved to 7 Picasso Pad. Wanted to move his exemptions from Belcara to Picasso Pad, okay? He went online and back in 2022 and put on the exemptions at the appraisal district. It got caught up in their old system, so it never got transferred over to their new system. Okay, and that's the time frame of all of that. But he never followed through to check to see why he didn't get the exemption on the new house, okay, until this year. So he got a refund when they applied the exemption, and they acknowledged that they made the error, okay, that it got hung up, but it did not prevent him from paying his taxes on time. He paid the original bill with no exemptions on the new house. On the old house, when we moved the exemptions from the old to the new, created a bill for 38 Belcar Place, okay? The bill went out in July. He had 21 days to pay. He didn't pay till September. So he's asking for a refund, penalty and interest on 3 years, 22, 23, and 24 of $399.36. He did get a refund on the new house when the exemption applied. So it's kind of a wash. So I did talk to the county about it because he said the county was going to waive it. And I talked to Tammy McRae about it, and we both agree. He had plenty of time to pay. The bills went out on time. We had the correct address, the correct name, everything. And we both agreed that the penalty and interest should not be waived because it does not fall under the statute to waive it. Okay, so it's $399.36.
These homes are in like 47, correct?
And move that we stay consistent and not waive.
So I would just say that under the tax code, if there's not a justification under the code provisions to allow for an exemption, then the board doesn't have any authority to consider it. So you don't even have to vote to deny
Okay.
the exemption.
Then let
Take no action.
it go that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, and just
No action.
direct Jeannie to advise the taxpayer that they're not eligible for a refund of penalties and interest because their facts don't apply.
And I have all the backup paperwork from the appraisal district and from Tammy McRae that, you know, there's really no error
Seems
to
pretty
be able to waive
straightforward.
it.
Okay, then we're gonna direct you to do exactly that.
Right.
Thanks, Brian, for clarifying that. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else?
I don't have anything.
Okay, thank you. So it moves on to the consent agenda. We've got some additional items related to our annual authorities this year. That happens in January, but
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
second. Okay, do we have any discussion items that anyone would like to bring up? We've got, usually the additional penalty recovery and the special purpose district information database. Anything there? All good?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Yeah.
Okay, opposed? Okay, consent agenda passed. Thank you. Go to the regular agenda. We're going to review and approve the district's fiscal year draft audit report, which we have. Susan, would everyone have that in their binder, or I got a copy of that? Okay.
Audit went well. Everything looks great. We have no complaints whatsoever. I know y'all haven't had a lot of time to look at this, so just kind of give you an idea of our time frame. It's due to the TCQ mid-February. We usually try and get it to Sports Page and Harding for filing first week of February. So just give y'all some more time, maybe take a look at it. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, you can email me or Maureen or anybody and let us know, and we can get them incorporated. Again, it went smoothly. We have no complaints.
Did you do any additional testing on because of the new system and all that handover and?
It was actually a significant amount of work done, yes, on the new system. Yeah, it was your staff does a great job. The challenge this year was the new system, and so, but it still went smoothly, and we got through it. No complaints.
Any questions? No. That y'all have? So we would approve.
Subject to any comments
Any comments that
may be
could come out.
provided by directors, staff, or consultants.
We have a motion to approve the fiscal audit report. All in favor, say aye. Okay, motion passed. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we are now at item 14, grant exemptions from taxation of 2026 and the adoption of the resolution on page 39 and 40 of our report.
Yeah, so the resolution that's in your packet has been prepared based on the assumption that the board would approve the exemptions that you granted in 2025. Those were the homestead exemption that maxed at 20%, and then over 65 and disabled at 35,000. This would be the time if you want to discuss, if you want to change that for any reason, up or down. A reminder, the exemptions that you talk about today and approve, now or next month will be the exemptions that will apply to the tax rates that you'll adopt later in the year in September or October. So I always try to reiterate that to folks that, it is a bit disjointed, but the CAD needs the exemptions to be able to code that early in the year, and then you get the taxes at tax rate later.
When we upped the exemption amounts, did that impact the budget?
Y'all did go up last year.
Did it stress anything out?
No, because you had your budget, you
Right.
adopted your budget last year, and y'all were in good shape, so.
Yeah, you're not an exemption, people make up the difference.
It looks like we have the highest.
Second,
Everybody else.
67, because they,
Oh, what is theirs?
Feel lucky? Want to go higher? Huh?
I we maxed it out already.
I know. I was like the last time you were pushing it up, I'm like, we're not the highest one. We could go higher.
Campbell?
You feel lucky?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's match 67.
I think it's pretty good. We tried it for a year.
We're giving the taxpayers something. I'm
Well, we're
loving it.
getting a certain portion of the taxpayer something.
Well, okay.
So those who are not 65 will pay the difference. So just remember that is,
Yes.
this is a zero sum game.
The true.
Okay.
But we have an older mud district too.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, 20%. I know we've done it for several years, so you kind of get just accustomed to it, but don't ever lose sight of how unusual that is for your district and the others in Woodlands to grant a maximum 20% homestead exemption. that is unheard of in Mudville. So you are definitely benefiting your taxpayers with that. All your
Homeowners,
Homeowners.
all your homeowners,
Yeah.
resident homeowners.
I say we
Great.
keep it the same.
Yeah. we made a big move last year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see why we would do that again. I think we should.
We're moving towards a consensus of, let's keep it the same.
That might be
I'll
right.
make a
I mean,
motion that
reference.
we do that.
Okay. So your motion is to really approve the existing as written rates from last year for
Yes.
the new year.
Yes.
We have a second for that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Approved. We have the item 15, receive monthly SJR Woodlands Division report. Chris?
All right. Report begins on page 41, runs through 85. I'm not covering all that information unless you have questions. With the operations report that covers the first half of it, we're still looking into the water loss with Woodlands Water, so that's an ongoing item. Do want to take you to page 80 though. So one of the projects that we have been doing is what we call the wastewater gravity conveyance optimization study. I guess just add another word to it. Basically, what this is we were looking, this came from the wastewater strategic plan, and we were looking to see if it was feasible to consolidate 5 lift stations behind wastewater plant 1 into a gravity conveyance system. So the study is on your Google Drive. It's about 200 pages. At the end of the day, page 80 is our recommendation. What we're looking at is not cost effective to move forward at this time to consolidate all those lift stations. The key information is in the table in the middle. Far left option is no consolidation at 38.1 million. Wipes out the cost over 50 years. Everything else after that, the other 4 numbers, is the consolidation options. One thing to note is if you do any consolidation option, it also requires a new lift station to be installed at wastewater plant 1, which is also going to be a lot deeper. Don't know the estimated cost, but minimum $10 million. So on those other 4 numbers, add $10 million to it. Lowest cost option is 3A, no consolidation. So what we're recommending and asking the trustees to do at the March trustees meeting is to approve us to do a budget amendment to do the $9.5 million we have remaining in land acquisition to repair the lift station 5 force main that needs to be replaced. Lift station 5 force main, you can see on page 81, it's already the original project plan. Lift station 5 is already, or that force main is already designed. Land acquisition has already taken place. And that's what that kind of shows. 82 and 83 are pictures of the force main from the last repair we had in, I think, 23, maybe 24. That was 1/2-inch ductile iron. That's now paper thin in some areas. And then also on the Google Drive is a larger condition assessment done in 2014 of lift station 5, which shows that it needs to be replaced as well. So long story short, gravity conveyance is not feasible at this time, and we're looking just to move existing funds we have from land acquisition over to replacing the force main. Any questions on that?
How much do we have for land acquisition?
We have 9.5 million. So what we're looking to do is move the entirety of that project, wastewater plant 1's land acquisition over to this replacement. And then 6, 9, 12 months from now, if wastewater plant 1, if we do need that land and repairs are needed, we'll have to include the land acquisition cost in a bond at that point in time. If y'all don't approve this and this 9.5 million is still needed, we either have to do a cash call, kill other projects, do a bond just for this project right here. So way I was looking at it is basically land acquisition. We don't know what we're going to do with it yet, but I do know I need this replaced. Cash on hand.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
that makes sense. Yeah.
So we need to give you the decision on how to vote in March? Or is that tonight?
March trustee. Yeah.
No, budget amendment would be at the trustees at principal. It's
That's
already on hand of it, but it's not till March.
That would be the way to go. That's what how we have been doing it.
Right.
Right, I'll make a motion that we approve you to go with this cheaper, no consolidation alternative. And do the swap of the cash to 9.5 for this project.
Okay, so we have a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay,
Right.
Last thing I had real quick is 84 and 85. That's 2 budget amendments on project budget amendments, not actual O&M budget, but R&R. That went to our board in December. We typically bring these to the MUDs just as an FYI prior to taking them to our board. However, these occurred after the November MUD meetings, and y'all did not have December MUD meetings. And so this is just the information we would have given you prior to it going to our board. No cash for the MUDs, no additional transfers, just have some unallocated funds in R&R used to cover these two overages. And just to note on page 84, some of this, the 92,337.66, 92,000 and change. We are seeking reimbursement for that amount from the engineer that did create the errors and omissions. Not entirely out of our pockets, they created the issue, so seeking reimbursement.
How did they create the issue?
They did not follow the National Electric Code and they didn't do some coordination.
Which engineering firm is that?
Calori. This is the only time. We've done work with them for years, plan to do work with them in the future. It's just next employee that was with them that didn't dot the Ts and cross the Is. Do great work though. This is, yeah, not typical for them at all. That's all I have.
Chris, on that matter, when did we discover this, or like, would you thought you perhaps would have seen this earlier on, that work was being done? Is there other inspections that are done, like in the beginning or without getting all the way to this point?
Yeah.
There is, this came to light when the contractor was coordinating with Entergy to to schedule the shutdown for the facility. And Entergy came out and was looking at everything and said, well, no, this isn't how we do it. We need it done this way. And then that's when it was noticed that the one code change, or the one code requirement that was not met was running the secondary conductors from the transformer through the same vault with the conductors coming from the generator, and then leaving the new ATS to go to the building in the MCC. And so it was discovered all at that time. Entergy had come out to do a site visit to schedule the shutdown.
Okay, just curious. Any questions? Is that the end of your?
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
On page 95 through 98, I would think, 97, 98, yes, is the Bear Branch Drainage System monthly operating report. So if you have any questions about that, I'd be happy to try and answer those.
I was looking at page 97 and it covers the drainage improvement project that keeps getting pushed because the federal government's looking at it. Do we know a time on that? When to expect them to come back?
Originally, we were expecting about 90 days, but the government shut down for almost 2 months. So they
I've
weren't,
already forgotten about that.
yeah, they didn't do anything during that time, and presumably. So I'm hopeful that we should see something here in the next month or so.
All right.
No big changes from really the last report out. Doesn't look like it.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, one quick little note, Congress, the House has passed the environment or energy and water bill. So the House has passed the 5 million for the Bear Branch Dam. We're waiting on the Senate now. So a little progress.
Any other questions on the Bear Branch study? We can move on to item 16, which is the GRP Global Amendment Contract. Are you, who's doing that? You're doing that?
Yeah, I was just going to point out, so back in September, I think the trustees heard a presentation from Mr. Humphrey was here to kind of go over some of the parameters of the settlement with Conroe. And one of those items was what would be forthcoming as a global amendment. That was discussed then. We now have it, and it's in your packet. And so we're being asked to review and provide any comments, adjustments, changes by the end of February. So wanted to get that in everybody's hands. Just asking folks to give me some comments by the meetings next month. That'll give us a couple weeks to get it final, collate all the comments, to get it finalized for submission to STRAD by the end of February.
Brian, would you be willing to kind of provide our directors here with the same kind of high level perspective that you gave the trustees?
Talking about closed session.
No, just before I think we even got to closed session. I think you
I
were
would love to have
just,
that
it's,
stuff.
or we can go to closed session and do that, or we could walk, it's not taped, obviously, it was closed session. And we had some discussion prior, before we get to closed session, what's really going on here. And, I think it's worth us to get into that. I'd like us to understand that, like we did last week. Which would probably be a closed session. If you want to just do it all, then we don't have to worry about wandering into that space. Okay?
Yep.
All right, so we'll do that.
That's good.
So we'll wait to the end to go to closed session.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. So 16,
Oh, we've already done 17.
yeah, we already can jump. Yeah.
Same answer applies. That's what we were talking about.
And then we did the, let's see, item 18, just did that too. No, this is the, what year two, sorry.
18th is the sanitary rehabilitation project. Yep, phase 2 is going on. This will be the fourth pay estimate from the contractor for work done so far. Pay estimate number 4 is in the amount of $110,960. Your share of that is only $6,080. So there wasn't a whole lot of work specifically in 47 this month. Your total share overall with the project is, just to recall, is about 146,000 and change. And so far you're about 40,000 in for things that were going to be done in 47. So I would need a motion to authorize payment of your share of $6,080 out of the 110.
I'll move that we.
And I'll second it.
Okay, we have all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion passed. What about the engineer's report? That's
Well, do we have any updates on that?
nothing happening there, so it's item 19. Okay, attorney's report, Ryan?
Yes, sir. Pretty much election matters tonight under attorney's report and then also under 21. So under 20, just remind y'all the candidate filing period did begin last week on January 14th. It ends on February the 13th, which is Friday. Shelley has paper copies of applications for folks who would like them. Let's see. Mud 47, Hugh, Diane, y'all are up for reelection, your positions this cycle. We also have, in addition to paper copies here for incumbents and other candidates, we also have copies of the applications that can be downloaded from the district's website. So should be plenty of opportunities for folks to be able to get an application, however they prefer to. We will be holding the election jointly with Montgomery County this year, as we have the last several cycles. Much more efficient to do that, to have them handle the logistics and polling locations and workers and machines and all that. So that's kind of the 10-cent tour of where we are with elections. Under 21, we do need to adopt the order to call that election to be held jointly with the county. Happy to answer questions if you have them.
I move that we substitute.
Yeah, call the election.
Call the election.
Second.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, okay. So item 21 does pass as well. Is that it, Brian?
That's all I have. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. We're fast here. It's okay.
Actually, perfect.
Yeah, there's only so much the attorney's report I can. No. GM report, just a couple things. I want to point out the AWD conference is this weekend, so half all of us will be going up to or down to, I guess, Houston. It's in town. It's rarely in Houston. So it's pretty short Friday evening, meet and greet, and then seminars on Saturday. So, and then we'll all get home to beat the freeze, I guess. Did want to point out that back in October, we started doing addressing the level 3 pipe failures and problems that we saw in the ditches. And so that continues. We've been pretty aggressive the last few months on that. Last week, we started some of the heavy clearing that we intended to do. We have a subcontractor doing that. And then we're still working to build our internal team to do some of the lighter stuff. We're hopeful that we can get that knocked out so we can keep that ongoing for some of the lighter stuff that the heavier contractors aren't doing. But that continues. I wanted to give an update on GRP. I can either do that now or in the trustees. I'll go ahead and do it now. It was a topic that came up in the trustees. That's why I said that. But the GRP meeting was moved from yesterday to today. And last week in the trustee meeting, the trustees gave me guidance on preference of how to vote on a particular subject today, which was to contemplate a GRP rate reduction. The two options that were posed to the committee was a 13-cent reduction, and that would go as a result of the extra demand of water that Conroe was going to be utilizing, as well as defeasance of the bonds. And so that amounted to 13 cents. The other option was to defease or take an 11-cent reduction and move $500,000 into the R&R fund. And so we voted on this already, but it included refunding of the bonds as well, simultaneously with defeasance. And that refunding, we learned, kind of fell through due to some new lawsuits and things like that. So, an AG guidance. So the new proposal was those two options, and I made the motion, and it passed unanimously today, 4-0, to take the 11 cents and move 500,000 into the R&R fund. And that was consistent unanimously at the trustee meeting as well with their guidance. So it moved forward.
And there was a list of projects that the 500,000 might address, right?
Yeah, well,
It was,
the main
Chris, I think.
expense is replacement of the filters. So
Yeah.
that's I think almost $14 million, 13 and change, or $14 million.
Right at 14.
Yeah. And so this in addition to some transfers over into the R&R the next couple of years would create enough funds to make that happen. And then after 2028, there'd be like I said, net of about 5 million left in the bank. So
Right, given all current projects.
right.
And in May, we'll do the GRP's project plan, and then we'll have listed in there any other bottleneck projects or anything else too. What we're trying to do is get as much cash as we can. That way we can remove the bottlenecks from the facility and gain as much unutilized capacity that we can without actually building new concrete structures. Because I can't build concrete, so.
So that was approved, and I think that's all I had other than communications.
Let's see, you've got our communications report on page 122. I wanted to hit that first item there, annual updates. So last year you sent out an annual update early year. I think it was really effective. You hit 39% of your emails were open, so 39% of your accounts read the email. But then you had another 70% of your bills, of your accounts received a paper report with the bill. Right, so you reached a lot of folks. You saw a 27% increase in your daily traffic on the website, resulting from that mail out as well. It's an effective tool. It cost you about $2,500 last year for printing for your 2-pager. So if you would like to do that again this year, I can work with you on that. The thought is to get your thoughts on the update, what you want to amend, what points you want to make this round. I'll get that into a form that is cohesive and reviewable by next month's meeting. Ideally, you like that and approve it, and then we can mail it out with the February bill around March 1. What I can do is I can send you that report individually, electronically, so you have that. It's also always available year round on the website, but I'll email it to you as well, so you have that. And then, Diane and I worked on that kind of one-on-one to really hone it. But you can send those, your red lines back to me, and I can go through it with Diane, and we can tweak it and again, put it in a reviewable form for you to look at in February. Does that make sense? So I'll email you, you send me your edits, and I'll present it to you in February, and Diane
And
and I
give us
can
some
work.
time to review it, because I remember last time.
Yeah. And I think we need to be, it was nice and friendly, but like big decisions we have to make. Fair Branch, like update on the dam, update on the flooding issues, just a little bit, maybe a little edgier.
Yeah. Truthful and transparent.
Yeah, like bring up the decisions that we're gonna be facing in the next.
Yeah,
couple
Which
years.
is true, because you need to educate them that we've got some hard decisions to make, and to make a case that, and I think especially the media attention that's been given to the Bear Branch Dam. The public knows about that.
Right.
And so there's within the Woodlands, there's kind of a heightened uncertainty of, well, what happens if it breaks?
Mhm.
What is the likelihood? So we have a really good opportunity to go in there and say that we're on top of the story, and we have some
Yeah,
answers.
and talk about Ed, getting funding, where we're getting creative with how we're paying for this stuff. I think it.
Yeah, I know, working with the Army Corps of Engineers
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
to find other ways of doing that, because that comes across as saving taxpayer money. So if that's the feel and the direction that we want to go, we for sure can do that.
Sounds like Craig's volunteering.
I think so.
Happily.
Yes, there you go.
You want to take the pen and then we can just go from there? I mean, Diane's done it for several years and we're happy to help.
What do you think? So
Bear
Flooding.
Branch Dam, because
Dam, flooding.
people know that.
wastewater one,
On the AC lines, I think you can.
AC lines.
do
Yeah.
those.
I would
Yeah.
say ditches.
Ditches, yeah, because people see that.
That's made a huge push this year
I
to,
have some constituents I'll ask, and I'll send you what they,
So what'd be good, I think, if we get everyone's comments out well before we kind of get back in here. So that we can just have them all considered. Do that, do we have any problem doing that for a newsletter? Rolling comments around to each other? Are we gonna get,
Yeah, that's district business, so
I
we
mean-
wanna have,
we're not deciding really any matters.
yeah, but deliberation.
Yeah, but if Craig by our next meeting has a mock-up done, and then we can just review and comment on that and approve it and go with it.
Y'all can provide your input, but then it's a one-way street.
Right,
And then
right.
he can produce it and then bring it.
Correct.
Right.
So he can send it to us, we can send it right back. Right, to him only.
Well, I think what we were trying to do was.
Just to go through John, yeah.
So he can help make sure there's not an inadvertent walking.
Okay.
That's.
All right, that's,
Yeah, so again, I can email you that report, and then and if you want to get me your comments back, what items you want to hit, we'll compile those, and then Craig and I can kind of wordsmith it, put it together, and then maybe at the February meeting, you might have 7 topics that people have identified, but you really want to pare that down to probably 4 or 5 at the most. See, that's the things you could deliberate on at the February meeting, then go from there. Does that seem good?
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'll
right.
email you that, and I'll be in touch with you, Craig.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it.
And just a couple other things. Big freeze coming this weekend. We're gonna push out a lot of communication on that, on protecting your pipes, protecting your landscape, that kind of stuff. So watch for those communications. And then I'm happy to announce that Stephanie Williams, our social media specialist, went from part-time to full-time starting today. So that gives us 20 hours more a week of capacity to get some good things done. So
I saw her on the way out and she said, I love working here.
Yeah.
So, you just love to hear that.
we love her working here.
Yeah, so that's
Good that
great.
you love your job.
That's
So
great.
I noticed there no community outreach, no. Because usually they're at like the farmer's market or the Ace Hardware, and so no place
Oh,
that we're
the
going.
calendar.
Yes,
So,
January's too cold to go out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually booked a few things over the next probably 2 months out.
Okay.
But there's nothing in the immediate future.
Okay,
That's why I didn't give you a calendar, but it's starting to fill in now.
cool. Because I think that is just so, being visible like that, the touchy feel, I think that's just so important, being out
So-
there in the festivals and that.
One of our performance objectives, bringing Stephanie on, is that will allow me to get out, and her, but me to get out 2 more of those events.
Yeah,
Do
that's
more,
great.
community group presentations, be it more booths at events. Absolutely.
Yep, love it.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Eric, is that it for,
23 is ours also.
yeah,
We do need a separate authorization. That's why it's pulled out.
yeah,
That's just to authorize us to prepare the annual water loss audit, which we have to do.
yeah. Mhm.
And so that we just need your authorization to do so. And then we'll bring that back to you when it's ready to do March 1st.
Okay. Any questions about any of that, everyone? Okay, and we have a motion to authorize staff to perform the water loss audit.
So moved.
For the second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Passed. We're done. And then the trustees report, you kind of hit on that. You talked a little bit about the water loss. There was a question about how's the water loss kind of figuring out what happened in September. Was it September or October? And where you're kind of going with that? Things are back to normal, like you said, right?
Back to normal, yeah.
We still have this gap that's sitting out there, but you're really working it down, but nothing is kind of
We haven't
solved.
given up. We're still digging deeper into the data, but we just haven't found where the discrepancy is. We even haven't had a meeting with STRA. We looked at our stuff. We kind of brainstormed some different ideas. We're looking at some new things just to see if there's something in there that we haven't seen, but we can't find it.
Okay. Well, keep working, because I think that's water we paid for that we never were able to sell at the end of the day, right?
Mhm.
So it's a little bit of value sitting there. I know you're working on it. Yeah, I think that's all we had, other than what we're about to get into in closed session. Okay, so we're good on that. We're down to closed session. Item 25.
More concentration.
Okay, 6:36.
We can take